morning and welcome to Ledj News. Today's topic, the view that has taken View Park by storm. Light skin versus dark skin. Everywhere you look, stigmas associated with East Side plague the student body. How has this affected the students of View Park? Students and teachers of View Park? Let's find out as we hear from Liz, our field journalist.
Hello, Deidre. Hi. I would like to ask you a quick question on your thoughts and responses to light skin versus dark skin. First question, have the stereotypes associated with each side or your respective side changed your daily life?
Kind of, sort of, you know. I mean, growing up, being the dark-skinned girl, you always hear like, "Oh, you're black," you know. But I mean, it used to affect me, but now it doesn't anymore. So.
Have the people made assumptions about you or your character based on these stereotypes?
All the time, like, you know, that people assume that since you're dark-skinned, you automatically have a bad attitude and you're just snobby and that you're dirty. I don't get it.
I don't get that either.
But I mean, when people actually talk to me, be like, "You're not the typical dark skinned girl," or "Not the typical dark skinned girl," or "You're cute for a dark skinned girl," and I just don't understand what that has to do with being pretty or beautiful. You know, it should just be beautiful. It should just be you cool. You know.
So it's like racism, but in a different way.
Reverse racism. That's all it is.
It's crazy. What can you do to help discourage this type of judgmental behavior on campus or in our community?
I mean, it's a lot you can do. You know, I think you should just try to motivate people. That's a hard question. But you should just try to motivate people and just try to help them see that it's more to it than just being dark skinned or light skinned.
And that we're all human.
Exactly.
We should all be treated the same. Well, there you have it here, people, from the D and Ledj News. Back to you, Lindsay. Hello. I'm here with Best Friends Charity and Donna Towns. We'd like to quickly see how being light-skinned and dark-skinned changes their friendship or affects it in any way.
Well, it doesn't really affect me. It's just I'm dark-skinned, she's light-skinned. I don't see a problem.
I think it's just other people who have a problem with it, but to us we're equal.
There you have it here, folks. Two friends.
How has this affected our students and teachers? Let's ask them. Hello, Miss English.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. I have a few questions to ask you about this topic. Okay, the first question. What are your thoughts about this view that has taken a lot of students by storm?
Well, I have to say that I was surprised when I first started hearing students talk about light skin versus dark skin, because I was in high school 20 years ago, and it wasn't even, I don't think, as big of a problem then, or at least it was about the same, and I would have expected things to change for the better.
Yeah.
And actually, if anything, we've come up with new ways to kind of separate and stereotype each other. So that was kind of sad to me.
Do you think being mixed race and in any way changes your opinion on the topic? In any way changes your opinion on the topic, or makes you bias more to one side than the other?
I don't think, it really depends on how you were raised. I mean, in my family, both my parents raised me to consider myself black, even though one parent was white. So for me, I kind of have more of a perspective as someone with two black parents, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Plus my mother taught me a lot about the history, you know, the civil rights movement and the history of the issues between mulattoes or light-skinned blacks and dark-skinned blacks. And in her family, it was something that was really shunned, the whole idea that we would have any type of feud, and we didn't consider ourselves better than anyone else because of our skin color or hair or anything like that.
Okay. Have you come in contact personally with any of these stigmas or stereotypes while working at this school?
Wait, where was I?
Have you come in contact with any of these stigmas personally?
So no one has directed anything at me, but I've heard students talk about light-skinned poses and how light-skinned people act. And it seems to me it's often, at least nowadays, directed very much towards light-skinned students or people, and all the stereotypes around us being snobby or full of ourselves and things like that. And it saddened me to see that students say that about each other, and you've noticed this in class, that I always say, well, that's not something we should really be saying to each other. we should be moving past that. Not to get on, everybody's side, oh, well, as light-skinned people have to stick together or something like that, but to say that we should squash all of it. It's not something we should talk about.
Do you think this issue is something that can be totally eliminated in our community and on our campus?
It's not something we should talk about.
Do you think this issue is something that can be totally eliminated in our community and on our campus?
I do, actually. I think that just like with racism or sexism or any other kind of ism, I think that colorism can be eradicated through education. So lessons like what Ms. Walton's doing with the Bluest Eye in the junior English classes and creating a dialogue and pointing out to students how it affects both sides negatively, those stereotypes, because it keeps you from being who you are, and it puts a stereotype on you that may or may not have anything to do with who you really are, how you really feel. So education and dialogue, about how it makes people feel is really, really key.
Thank you. I think this is a very important topic, and I'm glad that you do too. Thank you for letting me interview you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Greenwald from View Park Prep. Hello.
Hi.
I'd like to ask you a quick question on your views on dark skin versus light skin. How does it affect your daily life?
I think the most significant way is that when I hear about it in the classroom, it's used as a way to exclude other people, and it just prevents learning from coming together. It makes people see people as an other rather than as somebody that they can connect with and learn from. And I hear about things that go on at lunch tables where it just becomes assumed that if you have a bunch of dark-skinned people sitting at a table and you're light-skinned, that this becomes a place of exclusion. And I wonder what the difference is between that form of segregation and the segregation that used to be imposed nationwide between whites and blacks. And I wonder if people realize what they're doing, and I wish that they could see the alternative.
There you have it, the thoughts and feelings of the students and staff of View Park Prep High School. Now the only question left to ask is, what side are you on? We'll see you next time on Ledj News.